Hello and welcome to this new video in which I will talk about hedgerow mapping. The reason is that it is Hedgerow week in Ireland, and I saw a post recently on Facebook by Hedgerows Ireland where they suggested how to go about surveying hedgerows, and I just want to show you an alternative way to their way, using Fieldpapers and OpenStreetMap, of course. So in this video, I will talk you through how to use Fieldpapers, and then in the following video, we will do the actual survey of a hedgerow or two, and then use the Fieldpapers to map the hedgerows on OpenStreetMap. I have talked about Fieldpapers in previous videos, but because I know that not everybody watches all my videos, I will start from the beginning. So Fieldpapers is a way of making a paper map that you can use in the field or in the street, depending on where you go, to survey your area. It is often used by people who don't have a good internet coverage. So the project organizer can make the atlas, as it says there on the screen, make yourself an atlas, and then distribute the paper maps to the people out in the field that are going into areas where there isn't a great internet coverage, where you can't use your usual apps that we can use when we survey in areas with better internet coverage. You can use it in an urban context, and you can also use it in the actual field, surveying hedgerows. So the address is fieldpapers.org. So it's a non-for-profit website that is a sister project kind of OpenStreetMap, is used a lot by OpenStreetMappers, of course. And the first thing you do is you don't need an account at all, which sometimes people are put off when they have to get an account. You click on Make Yourself an Atlas, and I will not use the farm where I live for this survey because of GDPR reasons, but a friend of mine has agreed that we can use his farm for this, which is here. And you see we have all the field names already mapped, and some of the hedges are also already mapped, because that sometimes happens when we map field names. The first you want to do is to set your paper size, which in a European context is very likely A4. We can also use A3, but then you need a printer that can print A3. So you would usually go for A4. And then choose your survey area. We're not going to map the whole farm because we'll never finish that. So I might just zoom in on this part here, around where the equestrian farm is, and you can reduce the number of pages up here in the top left. So it's now set to landscape format, which you can change in the orientation. You can change to portrait, but I'll leave it at landscape, and then you can add more rows and more columns to your view. But I'll just use one page and zoom in more. And it's most likely that the satellite view is going to be a better choice for you. Unless you have all the hedges already mapped, then you can work off the OpenStreetMap view, but it's usually better to use the satellite view, and you choose under base map on the left hand side in the menu. I'll just go through. Black and white is not useful at all in a rural context because there's nothing there. Satellite and labels, well, there aren't many labels here because there are no street names in the country, but it already gives you a bit of an idea of where to zoom in on. So if I choose this, for example, I could go with this already, or I could use satellite only, which won't make a difference at all because there are no labels. And then we have humanitarian, which is of no use to us in this context. And Mapbox satellite probably isn't working anymore. No. So you just go with satellite. And let's say we're going to choose this area. You can zoom in even more. So if we had communicated properly beforehand, and I knew that we were going to survey these, let's say these 3 hedges, I could zoom in as far as that. But we haven't really decided which hedges to survey, so I might just move it around like this so that gives us a bit more of a choice. What you also have to consider is that once you create the atlas, there's going to be a QR code in the bottom right corner that will cover up part of the map. So just bear that in mind, that you don't intend to map that bit of the map, because it's going to be covered up and you're not going to be able to use it. So you see there's also a little bit of a wood here, because we might have a look at the trees there as well. We'll see. And once you have chosen your area of survey, and you might want to do a bigger one and have more pages and so on, but we're okay with this. You can give your atlas a name as well. Up in the top left corner it says atlas title. So I could just type in, let's say, hedgerow survey, or the name of the farm, but just keep in mind GDPR, you know, because you might want to upload these maps afterwards, and if it has your name on it, everybody knows where you live. So just try to keep any personal information off the map. But hedgerow survey, you know, that's fairly unsuspicious, and you could also put a date on it or something. Anyway, once you've decided on the name or not to have a name, you can click on Make Atlas at the bottom left. And that will render the atlas, which may take a little while. And then it's ready. So you get this view here. You have the name that you put in earlier there. It gives you an overview map of where roughly, well, where exactly your survey area is. You can zoom in on the yellow dot and it'll show you. I won't do that now. And then you can export the data, which I'm not quite sure why you would want to do that. Or you could click on Download PDF. This will generate one page because I only have the one A1 field. If I had chosen more than one of these tiles or whatever, it would generate a PDF that has an overview page as the first page, which gives you, like in a jigsaw puzzle, gives you where all the A1, A2, B1, B2 and so forth are. And then you can cut them out and glue them together in one big sheet of paper, or not. But in this case, it will only generate one page. So if I click on Download PDF now, it will download the PDF file, and it won't use the name you've given it for whatever reason, but it'll just call it Atlas and then some weird number, or a code. And then you can use that PDF and open it. You need the Acrobat Reader, of course, for that. Most browsers can open them now as well. And there you have your atlas. And you can go and print that out if you have a printer at home. Lucky you. If you don't, you can use your local library or like a copy shop or something. But you see here, there's the QR code that I mentioned earlier, so that covers up part of it. And then you have these holes here if you want to make a jigsaw puzzle of all the other pieces. But this should really cover all we need for the survey. And you can print it out in color if you want to. But of course you can also print it out in black and white. Hedgerows Ireland suggests that you mark your fences blue and your hedges red, which you have to print it out to do that, unless you have the proper Acrobat package, which very few people have. Or you could do a screenshot of this, but then we're back at the screenshots, which I'm trying to avoid, and use Photoshop or some other GIMP or something to paint in it. But if you print it out in black and white and you use a pencil, a color pencil, that should work too. And I shall see you in the second part, where we're actually going to survey and then add what we have surveyed onto OpenStreetMap. Happy surveying, and slán go fóill.